So there has been a lot of discussion lately about Tobey Maguire possibly being up to do with Spider-Man 4. So a lot of different YouTube channels, websites are running with this, I like to call it nonsense, that Tobey Maguire is returning as Spider-Man, because that's not exactly what is the truth or what Tobey Maguire actually said. So I have the article up here in front of me, and what Tobey Maguire basically talks about in this article is, his experience when they called him for Spider-Man No Way Home. He says, when they initially called, I was like, finally, he laughed. I got the call and it was immediately open about coming to do this, said Maguire. Not without nerves, what will this look like? What will the experience be? But to get to show up with beautiful, talented, creative people to play together, it's just like, yes, it's fun and exciting. Then Tobey Maguire goes on to say, I love these films and I love all the different series. If these guys called me and said, would you be up tonight to hang out on and goof around? Or would you show up to do this movie or read this scene or do Spider-Man thing? I would be yes, because why wouldn't I? That is Tobey Maguire's actual statement. So what he actually says in this thing is, if they called him and said, hey, would you like to be in Secret Wars? Or, hey, would you like to be, in this or that? Then that's, basically what he's saying is, yeah, I would do it. If you want me to come back in like Infinity War or Secret Wars or any other kind of crossover, he would be down like Charlie Brown to do it. That is what Tobey Maguire is actually saying. He's not saying he's going to come back and Sam Raimi's going to direct the fourth Spider-Man. He's not saying anything like that. He's talking about cameos. But now everybody on YouTube wants to go around and start, running with this story like, oh yeah, Tobey Maguire, man, Spider-Man 4, it's a thing. Spider-Man 4 is totally a thing. We're totally doing Spider-Man 4. Look, that's not the case. That's not what he's saying. That's not what anybody's saying. That's not what Sony's saying or the studio is saying. I think, even Tobey Maguire said in the article, like, how would this look like, Because he is much, much older now. Like, he's much, much older than he was when he was playing Spider-Man initially. Same thing goes for Andrew Garfield, right? Like Andrew Garfield probably feel the same way Tobey is. Andrew Garfield loved playing Spider-Man. He didn't want to, not play Spider-Man no more, but unfortunately they went in the reboot direction. So I'm sure if they called Andrew Garfield like, hey, you want to come back for this crossover? Absolutely, he would come back. So would Tobey Maguire. I would love to see a live-action Spider-Verse movie. We kind of got that with No Way Home, but let's see other versions of Spider-Man. Spider-Gwen, all that stuff in live action. I think that would be awesome, and now we know that he's definitely down for doing that. But to say that we're going to be getting like that lost Spider-Man 4 that we never got, I think that's just not realistic when you think about it. That's just not something that, in my opinion, is in the cards, nor is that anything that Tobey Maguire has said in this article. He just said, like, yes, they finally called. All right, let's do this. It's like, I love these films. I would totally be down to doing something in the Spider-Man universe or read a Spider-Man part if you guys have this thing. He's not saying, okay, let's strap on, let's get Spider-Man 4 up and running. That's not what he's saying. And I think people as fans of these properties, they get so like invested with it that they kind of they kind of make up or at least misinterpret what the actor or director or whoever in the studio is saying. They say one thing and they automatically take that to like, oh my God, Spider-Man 4. I've been seeing like Spider-Man 4 posters. My timeline on Facebook is like just, glittered with Spider-Man 4 things. And I'm like, that's not what the man said, like, at all. Like, I'm sorry if that's what you guys interpreted, but that's not what he said at all. Now, normally in Hollywood, I would say never, but at this point, I just don't see how it's likely that we would get a Spider-Man 4, decades after the Spider-Man series of Tobey Maguire ended. I felt like, Spider-Man No Way Home was Spider-Man 4, just like it was Amazing Spider-Man 3. We got, clarity of what happened to these characters after their events of their movies. I would much rather see like a giant Spider-Man live action crossover, which I think maybe that's something that Sony is working with, seeing how much people love these properties. But anyway, guys, that's just my interpretation. I wonder what you guys think. Be sure to leave your comments in the comment box below. Smash that like and subscribe button. Until next time, as always, I am Robert Storms, and that's my opinion.